Hi everyone. So we're going to start today talking about the circulatory system. So circulatory system actually encompasses two different systems in our body, and those systems are the cardiovascular system and the respiratory system. So what's included in those two systems are our cardiovascular system includes the heart, blood, and blood vessels. And our respiratory system is going to include the lungs and different air passageways that we'll be talking about. So the overall function of our circulatory system is going to be that movement of oxygen from the environment to the body. So if we take a look at this diagram to the left, we can see that we're clearly integrating the lungs and the heart here with all of our different vessels. So blood from our right side of our heart is going to move to our lungs to pick up oxygen in our lungs. That blood will then return to the right side of the heart, where it will be pumped to the rest of the body, where again we're going to see another trade-off here in our capillaries, in our body organs, where again we're going to see this blood without oxygen coming back to the right side of the heart. That's a very basic overview of that movement of blood throughout our body to transfer that oxygen. We're going to go into much more detail with this after. But what I'm going to do now is kind of divide these two systems so we can talk more in detail about them. So we're going to start with the cardiovascular system. So the cardiovascular system, as we know, includes our heart and our vessels. So if we break that word down itself, cardio is going to mean heart, and vascular is talking about those vessels. So the function of our heart is to pump blood through the body, and it also has a big function of maintaining pressure within those vessels. The main function of our blood vessels is going to be carrying that oxygenated blood to the body through arteries and carrying the deoxygenated blood back to the heart through our veins. So how does this whole system work? So as we see, we're going to go through this again, but the right side of the heart, as you can see, our arrows pointing in blue. This is going to move deoxygenated blood towards the heart, again through the veins. And then on the left side of our heart and left side of our body, we're going to see a system that's dealing with oxygenated blood moving away from the heart, which is going to be moving in our arteries. So if we start here at the right side of our heart, we're going to be moving up to the lungs. These lungs are going to have a transfer of oxygen. So oxygen is going to come to the blood and carbon dioxide is going to be dropped off in the lungs to be exhaled. Then that oxygenated blood from the lungs is going to come back to the right side of our heart here. In the right side of our heart, it's going to be pumped, creating a lot of pressure in our arteries, all the way through our different body systems, so our liver, our digestive system, kidneys, all other organs, especially the brain. The brain gets a majority of the different oxygenated blood because we do require a lot more oxygen in the brain than other systems. In those systems here, you see a transfer from those red lines to the blue lines. So we're going to see that oxygen was dropped off in those different places and carbon dioxide was picked up. So as that carbon dioxide is picked up, it's moving back towards the right side of our heart. Remember, going towards the heart, we see our veins. So towards the heart here, bringing the deoxygenated blood back into the right side so it can go back up to the lungs, and this process can continue and continue. One important thing I do want to note, you are going to see that arteries are depicted by red coloring and veins are depicted by blue. This is not because the blood changes colors, but because in our actual body, oxygenated blood is a very nice bright red, where deoxygenated blood is just a darker red. But having those two colors makes it easier to distinguish between these different pathways here. I also would like to encourage you to take a look at this YouTube video that I have attached on this slide as well, because that will really help explain these different processes of the heart and give you a brief overview before we get into some specific details. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll see you next time.